4,000 resin. I spent 4,000 resin on this domain, and this is what I got. What's Quantum Gamers? I'm Macro, and I just spent 4,000 resin on the Momiji-Dyed Court, which is the domain that drops the Shiminawa's Reminiscence and the Emblem of Severed Fate sets. These are the newest artifact sets. They were added in 2.0, and now it's like halfway through 2.1. The reason for that is not because it took me that long to farm. It's actually because I procrastinated in making this video. Real quick, I just want to give a few stats on what I got. This is exclusively for the 5 stars. I'm not going over any of the 4-star artifacts that I got because there are 4 stars of each of the sets, but they're just not relevant. So in total, I used 100 condensed resin. You know, condensed resin is 40 each. 40 times 100, 4,000. The amount of artifacts I got in total was 214. 106 of those were from the Shiminawa's Reminiscence set, and 108 of those were from the Emblem of Severed Fate set. And then in total, just when they're combined, I got 41 of them came with 4 substats already, and 12 times I used my condensed resin, I got a triple artifact. So basically a double, but it's a triple artifact because I used condensed resin. So now on to the important part. Of the artifacts I got, how many of them were actually good? The answer? Enough. Enough of them were good for me to put them on my characters. It actually took me 87 condensed resin to get the artifacts I needed for my Yoimiya. They're not the best, like they're not guttural, but they're still really good. And some of them are like super good, right? It took me 87 condensed resin to get that set. And the thing that was actually taking me the longest, and always takes me the longest, I realized just while doing this, is the sands. It always takes me a long time to get a good attack percent sands. Okay, so let's go over the notable artifacts. Alright, so firstly is my Sands of Aeon. Obviously, as I said, hard to get. It rolled in defense a bit, but it's still an attack percent Sands with otherwise good stats. Next up is the Flower. Flower is really good. All of those substats do damage. All of them just add more damage, so really good Flower. I like it a lot. Next up, my Circlet. My Circlet's a crit rate, and as you can see at the bottom, it started at 3, but it rolled into HP once, which is fine. Other than that, it's really good, especially it rolled into crit damage like 4 times. Really good Circlet. I have 2 other Circlets that are promising. One's a crit damage and the other's a crit rate, but I don't use them because this one just rolled into crit damage so much, and it's a main stat of crit rate, so really good artifact, even with the HP percent right there. Just to show you, here's my crit damage artifact. As you can see, it rolled into HP a little bit, but other than that, I would be using this one if I did not get a Thundering Pulse, because the Thundering Pulse already gives crit damage, so that's why I'm running a crit rate. But if I was just running the Hanayumi bow or whatever the free-to-play bow is, I would be running this crit damage one because it would make up for the lack of crit damage I have. Here's my Flower. It rolled into Elemental Mastery a lot, which I'd rather have it roll into something, you know, like the crit rate or crit damage on it. But overall, it's still a good Flower, so, you know, I'm gonna use it. But I'd rather it not be all that Elemental Mastery and something else. Here's the Flower I used before I got my current Flower. It's a decent Flower, not really that good, definitely compared to my Flower that I use right now. Rolled into defense a bit, which when you're going for a Flower or a Feather, just go for the 4 substats. It's not going to be that hard. You know, they already have the main stat of HP. So just try and get those 4 substats that actually do something for you. Don't settle for something like defense, HP percent, or anything else. Just get those 4 substats that you want. Here's the Feather I used before I got my current Feather, which, as you can see, rolled into HP a lot. So, you know, we had to replace that. Other than that, I didn't really get that many good Shiminawa set stuff. I did roll things like to level 4 to see if I got a good 4th substat, because it started with 3. I don't know why that Goblet is level 8, especially because I stole my Goblet from D-Luke, which is a freaking god tier Goblet because I farmed for so long in the Crimson Witch of Flame set. But, you know, I stole that from there, so you don't need a Goblet, and then I don't know why. Other than that, notable is that Circlet right there. The only reason I don't use that Circlet, even though it has 4 good substats, is just because the Circlet that I'm using, despite having an HP percent as the 4th substat, it has a lot of crit damage. So that's all the good Shiminawa stuff I got. Now onto the Emblem of Severed Fate. And to be honest, none of this stuff is actually notable. I really just went full energy recharge for my Mona, so her burst would do a lot more damage because she gets more hydro damage based off her energy percent recharge. So I have that. I didn't really invest into any of the attack percents. Maybe I will for Ball because I recently got her. I was trying to build Pity and I didn't notice how close I was. So I got that soft Pity of whatever, and then, you know, whatever, randomly rolled Ball. So I'm going to invest in Ball, and I'm going to do a lot more in this domain so I can get a good Emblem of Severed Fate set for her. But other than that, none of this stuff is really that interesting. Like, if it is, you know, here it is, you can look at it. But yeah, I just really upgraded the things that have energy percent. Other than that, there isn't really anything like that's good for attack percent and doing more damage. I mean, obviously the flowers and the feathers are going to be really good, but other than that, there's not really much. That's it. That's all I've gotten from the Momiji-Dyed Court domain so far. I'll probably grind it some more because I want good artifacts for Ball, who I got randomly. I wasn't actually expecting to get her. I was trying to get Kujo-Sara, and I got her. I actually wanted to keep my 5-star pity, but it's whatever. Anyways, I'm going to grind it some more, so there might be an update video to this, but this is what I've gotten from 4,000 resin into this domain so far. So I hope you enjoyed, and, you know, maybe like, subscribe, I don't know, but yeah. Hope you have a great day. See ya.